So I feel like this is something that certainly needs to be talked about because of how many delays there were appointed yesterday. And it's not just DC films that were getting delayed yesterday. It was a bunch of Warner Brothers projects that were getting delayed. They delayed movies like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, starring Timothée Chalamet, and also Meg 2, not even understanding why they decided to make a Meg 2 or why Meg is even an existing film. Anyways, not just the amount of delays though, but the time length in delays is really interesting, and I'm not exactly sure what to think of it. I do have a couple of thoughts, maybe some thoughts that aren't going to be the most popular out of a lot of people, or might not even be true in the first place, but I still think it's definitely worth saying. Now, first of all, let me begin by telling you what is delayed and for how long. We have Aquaman 2, which is being delayed from December 2022 to March 17th, 2023. Black Adam has been pushed back from July 2022 to October 21st, 2022. And The Flash is moving from November 2022 to June 23rd of 2023. I would not be surprised if that movie doesn't even end up coming out. And then finally, you have Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which has actually been moved up and will now come out December 16th, 2022, instead of its mid-2023, whenever that was going to be. Now, I have a bit of reason to believe this has something to do with Discovery. I am inclined to think this is a good thing, especially if you happen to be a fan of Zack Snyder films, or maybe just in general the vibe of DC before they started changing everything the way they've been doing it lately. The Discovery merger is becoming official next month in April, and one has to wonder if moves and shifts are already being started because of that. Maybe there is some sort of influence behind this merger that is pushing not just DC films, but a lot of Warner Brothers films back into next year, or maybe even farther beyond that because of Discovery. Now, if you don't know the details about this Discovery merger, putting it in the most simplest terms, Discovery poured in $43 billion to be part shareholders and owners of Warnermedia. Essentially, what's going to happen is AT&T will own 71% of Warnermedia, while Discovery will move in and own 29%. But this is the kicker. What's going to happen is the CEO of Discovery, David Zaslav, is going to end up being the CEO of another subdivision within Warnermedia that's going to handle all of the DC projects. When moving into this deal, I believe most of the board members or the executive heads will be from Discovery, or at least appointed from Discovery and AT&T leadership. I don't think many of the Warner Brothers executives are going to be staying. They're probably going to be let go. And speaking of leadership in Warner Brothers, this leads me to the third point. This is a statement from the president and chief content officer of Warner Brothers, Toby Emmerich. This is what Toby said after the Batman released and it got great reviews and a great box office opening in theaters. The secret of the movie business is quality. It's the best business strategy for both theatrical motion pictures and superhero movies. The movies don't have to all have the same tone or interlock with other DC movies, or have an Easter egg that sets up another film. Quality is the most important factor for a studio, and the biggest thing you can do to influence quality is the filmmaker that you hire. Now, whereas I do absolutely agree with that statement, because those words do not just cater towards superhero films, those words cater towards all films in general. You don't need these end credit scenes and Easter eggs and all of these special features, whatever it may be, to make a fantastic piece of film. Although, is this not the same guy who ordered Joss Whedon's Justice League instead of Zack Snyder's? Is this not the same guy who has been standing in the way of a lot of Zack Snyder's visions? To me, this is a man who knows Discovery is moving in, things are going to be changing, and this to me sounds sounds like a man who knows that his chances of losing a job is a lot higher than maintaining a job, and he's trying to say whatever he can to at least make himself look a little bit better when the time comes. And it's not just him. There are a lot of people in Warner Brothers leading specific divisions that do need to go. It's time for new people to take over and lead these movies in a different direction, and just frankly better direction. Now, when looking at some of these delays, it is no doubt to me that reshoots are being planned and are on the way. Other than Shazam, of course, I do believe that movie was ahead of schedule and it is done. It is clearly ready for a 22 release instead of a 23. Say what you will about Zack Snyder, his vision, and the movies he came out with in the DCEU, you know here on this channel that I really, really liked the world he was building. Once again, I don't agree with every decision he's ever made, but that doesn't mean I still don't enjoy it. I do really like his work. I like what he was building up to. Look, if you don't like his work or his movies or the world he was building, all the power to you. I completely understand different opinions here, but one does have to wonder if a lot of these delays, and more than likely these reshoots that are going to be happening, are building towards the fact that at least some of the Snyderverse is about to be maintained instead of completely stripped away and deleted. It must be a little embarrassing for Warner Brothers and some of the people who work on these projects. Like, guys, I said at the beginning of the video, and I'll say it again, this Flash movie is cursed. I would not be surprised if something happened and they say, we have a full finished movie in its own right, and we're never gonna release it because of certain, maybe world building is being changed, plans are being changed, something. This movie has been announced since just after like Batman vs Superman. It has been getting delayed for the past like 7 to 8 years. There seems to be no end in sight with some of these movies. I mean, even look at Black Adam. The Rock's had that role since what? 2010, and it constantly got delayed. They were never ready to make the film, and all of a sudden delayed, bam, once again. Even Aquaman, that's gotten a couple of delays, of course. Now, for sure, COVID definitely strained a lot of these projects. There was going to be inevitable delays no matter what, and honestly, I don't see many people out there saying, oh my goodness, I can't wait for Aquaman 2. I don't see anyone saying that, but in general, there's another delay. Wasn't it at the beginning of the year that Warner Brothers tried promoting the fact that this was the year for DC superheroes? Because all in one year, we were supposed to get the Batman. We were supposed to get Flash. We were supposed to get Black Adam. We're supposed to get Aquaman 2. And now, all of a sudden, we just get the Batman. That's it. And then later, at the very last moments of the year, Shazam 2. Now, I'm not necessarily complaining. To be honest with you, I am very happy with the fact that The Flash is getting a massive delay. And I know I just ripped it apart for being a cursed movie, but for anyone who keeps up to date with my videos, you do know my feelings on the Flash movie and the story they were building there. I don't really care to see Michael Keaton take up a mantle of the Batman for the future in the DCEU. I'm not interested in that. I don't really care to see that. And also, too, there are just so many things that, from what I've heard, the Flash movie does not sound like a great movie. And not to mention, his suit looks terrible. I'm sorry, I can't get on board with the suit. It does not look good. So maybe a delay to fix a lot of these issues will be key. But once again, I'm going to say it. This is a fat delay. What is that? November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. That's 8 months. What could they possibly need to delay for 8 months? If there is any possible way that the Snyderverse is being maintained, I'm not saying we're going to get Zack Snyder's pure, complete vision. I'm not saying we're going to get that. Although, are we going to be getting something? I have heard very, very slim rumors that the reason Black Adam is being delayed is because apparently they're going to be reshooting scenes dealing with Shazam and Henry Cavill's Superman to bring him back into the picture. Take that with a grain of salt, if you will. I don't know how accurate that is. It's just some of the slight things I've heard as of now. Yes, this Flash delay is the biggest of all of them. Am I saying this delay is to make room for Ben Affleck to come back? No, probably not. Would a lot of us like to see Ben Affleck return? Of course. There's a huge fan base for that. I mean, I saw a poll that apparently 41% of Americans think that Ben Affleck's the best on-screen Batman. That says a lot. How can you have someone so popular that's being loved by the fan base and not continue to use him because Warner Brothers as a whole is too dense to do so? I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Discovery is doing its own research. They're keeping an eye on forums. They're watching YouTube videos. Hey, maybe you've seen mine. Maybe you've seen what I liked about DC and what I don't like about DC now, which is what Warner Brothers is currently doing to them. They do their own SEO searches. Discovery is keeping an eye on this stuff. And it makes me wonder if Discovery is doing some cleanup and some maintenance. I would absolutely love to see if some of these reshoots do at least pay some respect to the Snyderverse and what was going on there. And I'm not saying we need the exact same story, because it does look like Warner Brothers really botched that opportunity. But I'm talking like bring Henry Cavill back as Superman. Warner Brothers really screwed up that relationship. It's time to mend it and to bring him back. Repair the Wonder Woman story and make a decent Wonder Woman 3, because I don't know what the hell Wonder Woman 2 was. You had Ben Affleck. Warner Brothers squandered that opportunity. It's time for a little bit of redemption there. How they would solve this issue, I don't know. Bringing back Ben Affleck sounds almost impossible. Don't really know if that's ever going to happen. If your plan is to keep Michael Keaton around, okay, fine. Don't keep him around too long. I want a younger Batman. I don't want to see a Batman who's going to struggle doing a kick or a punch because of how old he's getting. You know, even the Darkseid storyline. I'm not saying that the future of DC needs to jump right into the Darkseid world, but I am saying that even if they do keep that option open for the future, like, hey, Darkseid's still there. Remember at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, he said, we will use the old ways, ready the Armada. They're on their way to Earth still. It could happen someday soon, someday a little bit later. Just keep that door open. For people who loved The Suicide Squad by James Gunn, or who loved Peacemaker, or who now love the Batman from Matt Reeves, like me, keep that content around. Keep those worlds building as well. As long as we are dealing with one solidified timeline that's going to essentially work the way a Marvel Cinematic Universe does, let's clean it up a little bit here. Let's get it a little more current, and hopefully Discovery finds a way to keep the current fans that DC may have, and they also find a way to repair the relationship with other DC fans that Warner Brothers has hurt over this time. Overall, we'll see what happens. I think these delays are a little too hefty to simply just be calendar changes or shifts in movie releases. I think there is a lot more going on behind closed doors. I think we're going to be getting a ton of reshoots. Now, whether or not this will contribute to what I was just talking about, maintaining some of the Snyderverse, I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll have to see. Let me know in the comments down below what you think some of these delays mean, what you hope they mean, what you think could happen for the future of some of these DC films. You know, stuff like if you think we'll see Henry Cavill, or if you think stories for certain movies are changing, almost like The Flash possibly could be. But anyways, everyone, that is it for this video. And just like always, I will talk to you all very soon.